I love how it's just hi at the end there. But I want to make a review about this game, and we're just gonna make it fast. We're gonna make it quick. So, my messy experiences with Outertale Project Spacetime. So, I picked up this game. Um, my head is still hurting after everything, even though I'm done. Crazy, but uh, what is it? Basically, I picked up this game like a long time ago, like not like forever ago, but I picked up this game because I was like, you know what? I want to play an Undertale fan game, and I think I think Project Spacetime was one of the first couple of Undertale fan projects I even touched on this page, other than like Undertale Yellow, which I think was the first one I streamed. But then Outertale I streamed like a little bit later than that one. And yet here I am not making a video on Undertale Yellow, because maybe one day I'll return to that one and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it then and stuff. But I remember when I first picked up this game, I was interested because obviously I love Undertale. It's one of my favorite games, obviously, and I thought a fan game about them being in space instead of, them being on the planet Earth, just in a mountain, I thought that was kind of a cool little unique twist. So I decided to give it a play, and the results of me playing this game was pretty messy because there was a lot of points where I personally felt like it was a really good experience. Like when I first played it, I thought it was genuine fun, right? I, was going through the motions, I was going through the puzzles, I was going through a lot of things. One thing a lot of people say about this game, which I think is kind of true, is that a lot of things in Outertale kind of feel like it's just the base game, but like we're in space. Like the room layouts, as you can see from this screenshot of my own video here, like are pretty bland, sometimes not quite as interesting as the original game. Because at least the original game had an excuse, like it was Toby's first game and stuff, or Outertale is something like Star Wars, but it's Undertale. Not really. I wouldn't say it's like Star. I mean, kinda, but they don't really kind of treat it like it's Star Wars. It's kind of like the space theme, like the Outertale, like the space theme, right? My bad for words. It's kind of like the Outertale aspect, like the space aspect is more of it like an aesthetic. It's not really something that's really true, unless like in some moments here or there, like it feels like you're in space, but other moments it just feels like you're just going through like different locations from like the original game. Like, okay, the ruins, Snowden, Hotland, all that stuff, right? Dead Space, it must be similar to Dead Space. No, I wouldn't say I would just Waluigi, I would say it's again more similar to like regular Undertale, like in terms of locations and feel of the locations, than just like its own unique like locations and its own like unique thing. Sure, the characters are similar, to their original counterparts, but they obviously have some differences like clothes designs and shit, and the way some of their personalities are a little different from the original. But other than like a couple of things like that and like the environments and stuff, I would say it's very similar to the original game. I would say Outer Tale is probably one of the closest Undertale fan games that is close to the original experience, if you catch my drift. But obviously they have some tweaks and some differences, like some character backstories are different, like some fight animations are different, some of the sprites are different, like different designed and stuff. So it's a little bit different in some aspects, and same with the music, a little bit different, like a little bit remixy here or there with some of the things. But anyways, like I said, in the first video of Outertale, I was genuinely having fun with the game for the most part. I was enjoying all the dialogue, I was enjoying Sans Papyrus stuff, right? And I even said, okay, I kind of want to end the video like here in the first part. But one of my issues with Outertale And I think this fight sums it up very well, in my honest to God opinion, is the boss fights in Outertale. Like, keep in mind, right? Undertale, when you play Undertale, the ruins area slash Snowden area are some of the easier bits of the game. And obviously, Undertale is a game that has difficulty that goes up and up the more you get into it, the more you play it, the more you experience it. Like, the fights get harder and harder the more you progress, right? And I honestly felt like this game, the difficulty spike in this game is really bad, because it feels like the difficulty goes from 0, like it's not difficult at all, to either 90 or 100 extremely quickly. Because when I got to Papyrus, all right, to fighting Papyrus, because you also fight Papyrus here in Snowden and stuff, and he wants to capture you and stuff. I just want to show you some of these moves that you have to deal with from Papyrus, because keep in mind, right, the second time I played this, I made this stream literally an hour. I spent like the first 18-20 minutes of the stream just doing regular stuff. 22 minutes into an hour, and we're on Papyrus, right? And keep in mind, I was like enjoying the fight for the most part, because I'm trying to spare him and stuff and whatever. Go through the blue attacks like normal here. Not hard at all. But then when we get to like more of the blue attacks and stuff, hold on, let me show you real difficulty. The spike I'm talking about. Some of these patterns are ridiculous, but, well, not too bad, but some of these are. I'd probably argue the last part was most ridiculous, right? Because you're jumping over these, those get a little quicker. Let me show you the real shit, though, like the Gaster Blasters. The Gaster Blasters, yep. All the bits that contain the Gaster Blasters. Why in the hell in your boss fight? And keep in mind, Papyrus is one of the earliest fights in the game. He's like boss fight number 2 or 3. Why in the hell are you showing me Gaster Blasters in the beginning of your game, or in near beginning of the game? Don't you think Gaster Blaster and Gaster Blaster related patterns should be farther, like to the ending of the game, or a genocide route? Because I won't even hold. In regular Undertale, you never see a Gaster Blaster, not once, in the beginning, middle, or end of Pacifist, or even neutral route of the game. That's only a genocide route thing. And keep in mind, I'm doing true Pacifist. Okay? So meaning I can't damage Papyrus, or, inflict damage on him, or do anything like that. And this fight originally was so bad for me that I got off the game because of it. I wanted nothing to do with Outertale. And I remember for a long while after that, like, I stayed far away from Outertale. Because I was like, yo, this Papyrus fight is actually rigged. Like, I don't appreciate this Papyrus fight one bit. I don't like this fight at all. And Papyrus fights like this is kind of out of character even for him to fight like that a little bit. And I know it's an alternate universe, so, like, it really doesn't matter all that much in the grand scheme of things, because it's a different universe, so meaning Papyrus can have different proportions or different ways of fighting and all that other sort of stuff. But this fight got me so bad in my mental state that, like, I wanted to, because I think after this fight, I was not okay. Like, I was not okay in the head. Like, I wanted to do so much stuff to my own self after this fight, after this video was shut off, that it wasn't even funny. This is probably where I realized that, wow, the more I keep doing this, the more I keep becoming more and more mentally ill. Like, as a person, just in general, right? And after that Papyrus fight, I swore to not play Outertale ever again, right? After that video. Then I tried to do Delta Traveler and other things, and I didn't go back to Outertale for a pretty long time, actually. I think like a couple of weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Then I came back and I beat Papyrus, and then I dealt with other stuff, which I felt really good after beating Papyrus, after beating that fight. Because that fight was really damn difficult, and it felt really unnecessarily difficult for me for some reason. It just felt difficult. And then, I went through Undyne fight with some issues, and same with the Muffet battle. I went through it with some serious issues and stuff like that. Then I went through, part 5 of Outertale, which I was enjoying myself, but this is where I legit kind of broke down again, and I'm starting to recognize a fucking pattern. Right? So, what ended up happening was I was playing through the game because I was like, you know what? Today is going to be the day I try my best to finish it. Because I think I am okay enough to finish the game. Alright? Undyne was pretty alright. We got through her. We struggled a little bit, but we got through her. We managed to get through her, though more struggled than I would like. We got through Undyne. We got through multiple Mettaton minigame, movie sections, and all that other sort of stuff. And then we got to Mettaton EX, right? And at first I was like, okay, is this just going to be similar to the original game, in my opinion? Like, is Mettaton going to be either really fun, or is he going to be, like, really bad? I don't know how he's going to be, right? Because I have no idea. So I get to Mettaton EX, or just Mettaton's actual, like, fight, right? Where he turns your soul yellow, you shoot a bunch of shit, and, you go through them, right? So I spend a good couple of minutes trying to do Mettaton EX, right? And no, this is why I'm never going to return to this again, because no, it's not just I need a break. Okay. Every time people say I need a break, no, it's always more than a break. It always feels like it's more than a break. I just need to permanently stop playing. Like, that's what it is. That's always what it is. Or I just need to go back to fan fights because I just can't deal with that, right? So I kept dealing with Mettaton EX's attacks for a long while before before something snapped in me, right? At least snapped in my head because I kept getting game overs over and over and over again. Right? And I was done here, I think. I was done.
Oh my god.
Wait, why did it not show that?
I know what you gotta do, and then...
Yeah, and I figured out what I needed to do, but for some reason, after dealing with this for too long, in my opinion, what ended up happening was I was getting, my head, and keep in mind, right, I don't like dealing with stress. I never have, I never will like dealing with stress. This comes from anything I do. And I want to re-explain this because I want to really get in your head how easy it is for me to stress out. I can't even go and draw, right, without sweating somewhat or without feeling some type of, okay, I'm doing some sort of activity. Therefore, my body is going to kind of freak out about me doing said activity. And this is one of the reasons why I don't want to go back to my friends, because I don't know how I'm going to act in front of them if I'm acting like this right now, right? So I go over and draw. I do the drawing. I'm kind of stressing out about it because I'm making sure my drawing's good. Maybe I'm having an overflow or an unbalance of energy and all that other sort of stuff, or whatever the hell is going on with me, right? It was at this point in the video, I stressed out so bad that my head was starting to feel like it was getting crushed by something. Like my head was getting put in a fucking... Like, look at this, right? Let me tell you. Look at this. My head felt like it was being crushed by something. Take this hat, for example. The pressure and the stress felt like my head was going like this. It was going to squeeze. It was going to pop. And it was going to snap all over again, right? The same feeling I felt like, a little bit different from how I felt against Papyrus when I fought Papyrus in this game, but my head just felt like it was being crushed to smithereens, because keep in mind, right, I'm constantly going through things that stress me out all the time. That's way above my level of processing and understanding. And because of that, my head felt like it was being squeezed so damn tight that I felt like I was going to cry. Because my brain is telling me, oh, we're going through this again? We're doing this one more time? Are you fucking kidding me? We're going through this stress and anxiety again? Again, Alan? We're going through this again? I can't deal with this again, man. I'm not gonna sit here and deal with this again. I'm gonna fucking flip out, man. I'm gonna flip out. I'm gonna flip out right now. Right? And I was like, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. This game was a mistake to play. I need to get out of here. I can't be dealing with this. And this was probably the second or third, maybe fourth time I've uninstalled Outertale up to this point, and I realized this is just gonna be this is just an endless cycle, it feels like. And I don't know. I've never felt this way before. Now, keep in mind, right, when I stress out, usually it's my whole body starts feeling a certain way, but never necessarily my head felt like it was gonna fucking crash under the pressure, and legit, like, my head starting to hurt, like, ridiculously bad, right? To the point that I was actually gonna cry. And usually, I don't cry about anything. All right, I cry about very little things. You know, obviously, if obviously family's gonna go through the ringer, maybe, but I don't cry a lot. And this is one of those times where if I kept going, I felt like I was low-key gonna have another breakdown. Similar to maybe Punch-Out Wii, where I put holes in the walls and I was really mentally unstable. I really felt like if I didn't get off that game right then and there, and I kept going, I would have probably broke. I probably would have broke down into tears, wondering what the fuck I'm actually doing with my life all over again. And I was like, I'm done. I can't do this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. In terms of always wanting to keep myself in control. And it's like when I do these things, like these video game things, I can't guarantee I'm always going to be in control of my own thought process and my own emotions. Because keep in mind, like I told you guys multiple times, my thought process hasn't fully processed a lot of this fast-paced shit. It never will. It's always going to be 4 steps backwards, okay? It's not gonna be right there like, okay, I can deal with this. No, I'm still trying to process how the fuck to deal with it. And it's probably gonna take me longer than the average person to deal with it. And I'm done. I can't play that fucking game anymore, man. I'm not gonna do that. Which is why I think I moved to, like, Sans fights. Because at least with those, sure, I'm outmatched. But at least I know I'm outmatched. I'm never gonna be able to beat it. And I don't feel bad for it. Because at least my brain can comprehend the idea of, oh, I can fail at this and be fine, you know? But with Outertale, it's like, for some reason, I give a fuck. And when I give a fuck, I care about what I'm doing 10 times more. And this is what I mentioned, too, as I noticed. If I give a fuck about something, like if I give a fuck about beating something, if I give a fuck, like, let's just say that, right? If I give a, like, for example, I gave a fuck about beating Mettaton. I wanted to beat him so I can move on with the game and go through it. And because I give a fuck, it matters that much more to me that I win and pass it up. And therefore, all of my emotions are in fight or flight about how I'm going to get through this and how I'm going to do this. And I'm just like, that's exactly the thought process that gets me murked. IRL. That's the thought process that brings my mental state down to levels that I don't like seeing myself. And it's happening, again, more and more frequently the more I go on with this, which is why I fuck off and lay on my bed doing absolutely nothing. Or I go outside and go do stuff outside that I'm in control of, that's not a fucking video game that I'm going to be on for longer than an hour. And I wasn't even on the game for longer than an hour, by the way, before I actually had this breakdown. Which is why I'm making this review to tell myself, you're done with Outertale, Alan. You're done. You're done. You're done. I don't give a fuck. You're done. Thanks for watching my review. And also, just to be honest with you, if you want to play Outertale for yourself and figure it out, if you want an experience that's very similar to Undertale in some ways, but not every single way, Outertale might be the fan game for you. But I'm just telling you, when you get into the boss fights, the difficulty spike just fucking goes up the fucking wall for certain boss fights. Like I mentioned, Papyrus, Mettaton, probably Asgore, and probably Flowey or something in this route, or Azrael. I don't fucking know. But I'm telling you now, as somebody who's played this game, I really do not enjoy the bosses in this game, especially trying to do them like through pacifist. It's really annoying and it hurts my head, and just even reminding myself of this game is really hurting my head. So I'm gonna get the fuck on, and I'm gone. Fuck everything.